we're coming off of a Euro final that just concluded yesterday. England win their second straight Euros on penalties, 3-1 over Spain. Did you watch the tournament, Lo? Did you guys have watch parties with your teammates? Like, what are NWSL players doing this during the break? Are they watching more football?
100%. Because if you are not a true fan lover of the sport. And I think what I've loved, obviously I'm neutral when it comes to the Euros, right? We didn't have any players on our team on the current play in the Euros. So I was truly watching as a fan. But I think what was even more fascinating is how well people from the NWSL were doing in the Euros. Like, one, I'm just going to think right off the bat, like Jess Fishlock, right? For Wales, like everybody's talking about Spain, France, how good they're doing. But Jess Fishlock, I text her wife after she scored. I was like, if there's one thing I know about Wales, it's Jess Fishlock is going to score for them. And for her to get the first one, like I don't know if many people know about her struggle this year, like trying to get healthy, try and even qualify for the Euros. For her to just put that on her butt, like for everything she's done in soccer, for that, I was like, that's a beautiful soccer moment.
Yeah, that's the stuff you're cheering for and you love to watch. And like, that's the fan and friend part of it. You know, you're just like, I'm so happy to see the people I know out there thriving and you know what they've been through, because let's be honest, the NWSL has been a road. So anyone that was like the day ones, like the OGs, like Jess Fishlock, you're rooting for them so hard. But also I found myself like when I used to play, like and watching world tournaments, I'm like kind of studying too. Like I'm like watching which players are good, what are their habits, you know, maybe some attributes I can pick up from their game. You know, you can't help but like turn that soccer brain off, or you're like analytically looking at it like film kind of, you know?
100%. And I think like, I'm thinking of Spain yesterday, like, you know, you and me are midfielders. So I'm like, wow, that pass, the weight of the pass, the way they have the smallest little areas to receive the ball and slip the ball with the perfect amount of weight. I'm like, oh, looks like I'm going to add that to practice tomorrow on top of my other practice with my team.
Always studying, always preparing. Yeah. Guys, turn your brains off for just 1 minute.
I know, it's sick. It's sick.
I get it though. These Euros were really fun to watch. I mean, with all the different teams that were in it, we got some new looks. I mean, Wales, you mentioned Lo, Jess scoring the first Welsh goal at a Euros tournament and picking up not only that, but kind of making a splash on the world stage. When you think about this Euro tournament of 2025, Spain and England, the favorites, they made it to the final. I think there's a lot that we could say, yeah, we predicted that, or we could have seen that coming. But Lo, is there anything that surprised you? Anything like you learned a little from this Euros or that stuck out to you?
100%. And I think too, you know, when people predicted England and Spain maybe before, to be honest, like there were so many conversations too around France. Like they surprised me. So, they started off so hot that first game and they were playing so well. And I think it was interesting about France is that, you know, there was some controversy about the final roster that they went with. You know, some people left off and they went kind of with a younger one, but they showed up. That whole team, they played so well. Cascarina, obviously, from the NWSL, we're like, I was not familiar with your international game. This is so good. She did so well. I was so proud of her. I'm a little worried when we play her again. Like she's on a high right now. But France, you know, I thought they were going to make it. And yeah, I'm just going to say whether it's a surprise or disappointment, these PKs, you guys, I cannot.
What was happening?
What wasn't happening? What were they not practicing? Were they not doing the mental part? Because oh my goodness, I think I got worse at PKs watching all of those. What was a record of how many were actually made? It was like less than 50%. No.
Yes, it was insane. Before we entered, I think it was like the semis. There's something like 16 taken and like 5 were made. Yeah. Something insane. The stat work was crazy.
I don't think I've seen a tournament with worse penalty kicks in the history of women's football.
And there were so
And, like,
many.
I was so on a high about how much progress the game has made and how it's gotten faster, quicker, more quality, which is facts. It's the level is heads and tails much more than it was even with the previous Euros 4 years ago. The only thing that digressed is the penalty kicks. And I was out here like, okay, are the goalkeepers getting better? But not really, because a majority of them weren't even hit on frame.
Yes. Oh my goodness. And two, it wasn't even just like the final decision. There were some during regular play that were being missed as well. Like Spain had 2 in regular play, not this game, the game before, or not the final, the one before that. I think I don't remember correctly, but I was just like, this is so frustrating. And I think one of the messages in our group chat on our team was like, Euros needs to ban PKs because they're not good. They're not good at all.
After the quarterfinal of
note,
Sweden, England, hold on, I'm just going to say this. Sweden came out and said, we didn't practice these. Like, we didn't prepare for this. It is a knockout tournament. You know you're going to go to penalties once you get to the quarterfinals.
Also,
If
did
you're
they
so
not
what
just
are you doing?
Yeah, didn't they just win in PKs like the year before, the tournament before?
if you're out here practicing set pieces, that goes hand in hand. It's the same thing. Any dead ball situation where you can actually plan, prepare, and get on the same page, that is just training. That's just practice. That's coming up with ideas and executing. It's free money if you do it well. Why are they not including that in like dead ball set piece planning? It's crazy to me.
Yeah, I think too, what was even crazy, we go through all that. And then speaking of Louisville was playing an International Women's Cup down in Brazil. And both of their games, their semis and finals went to PKs. And those were they're a little better, but still pretty bad. Like more than 2-3 PKs were missed.
You know what the problem is? They all just can't bang them like Lo LaBonta.
I appreciate that. I'll take it.
But Lo, you have a process when you take a penalty, right? It's the same every single time.
Yes. If you are a PK taker, which each team has designated 2 or 3, they should. Again, actually, I'm just speaking for the top teams, but everybody should be doing this because when you, like you said, when you go through set pieces and stuff, there's always like, all right, if there's a PK in the game, this is the first person. If they're not on the field, this is the second. So that person should be practicing at least a PK, like walk through your process, just do it. Cause then when it comes to the game, you're ready for it. And yeah, I didn't think this tournament was going to have such a focus on PKs, but it did. And that was my one disappointment.
Yeah. It's like a free throw in basketball. Like, it doesn't matter if you need to make the one to tie the game at the end of the game or if it's early in there. Like, your routine and your planning should be the same. Like, repetition, that's what they tell you. Like, count your steps back, sideways, organize your angle. Like, you're supposed to repeat that same behavior over and over and over again.
We should bring up this. Okay, speaking on my disappointment, one of my surprises, though, on PKs, Chloe Kelly, with that leap of faith.
Did y'all see like everybody trending today? Like, I'm just doing this with everything I do today. Like, going to pick up my dog,
going to get a glass of water, and they do the little step.
That's her thing, and that's what works. It made me think of when it comes to free throw process. Like, some people do like weird throws, weird setups. She does that, and it works for her. And that was so surprising. And she even one that slightly got saved. She was able to follow up. So. Yeah, she's the PK queen right now, actually.
Absolutely the PK queen. I mean, Chloe Kelly was electric this tournament. Every time she came on the pitch for England, she changed the game and how they played. We've been talking about it on A3 all month. But when you're a player like Chloe Kelly that wins the Euros for your country in 2022 and has an excellent club career and then goes on to not be a starter at the start of this tournament, but be a game changer off the bench, score game-winning goals and game-winning assists in these games. Are you pissed that you're not starting by the end of this tournament or like in some of these games? Because she's still coming off the bench.
I know. I thought of that this last final. We were trying to predict what the lineup was going to be, Lauren James and all that. And I think those kind of come down to, it's obviously always a coaching decision, but it's like, you knew Lauren was a little bit injured. So you're like, do you risk that in the beginning or do you sub her on later and she gets hurt and then you have to make another sub? That's the only one where I was like, those are behind the door behind the door conversations. And I definitely wonder, like, do you prefer to be a super sub though? Do you want to close it out in some of those settings? And if you're a super sub, can you still be up for Ballon d'Or? I don't know. I'm not in these conversations, but I'm just throwing it out in hopes of hopefully someone will answer it for me.
So there are players that prefer to come off the bench and be super subs and be game changers.
Yes, that is, I'm not saying she is, but I
Right,
know
right.
there are people that are like that. And I know some people don't know that they actually are better as super subs than starters. That could be a whole nother thing. I'm not going to call anybody out in the league, but there are people that maybe it hasn't sat with them yet that that's their role, but there are people that are super subs and those people are so deadly.
Hopefully they recognize a little bit of themselves in Chloe Kelly and they can just
Yes.
lean into it, because I feel like there's got to be something to be said about sitting on the bench next to your teammates, kind of talking about the game and watching it unfold. There has to be an element of like, oh, okay, like I see how I fit into this role or where different spaces are.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's like such a powerful role too. Like I think as you get older, like there's, when we were playing in this Teal Rising Cup that we were just playing, sitting on the bench, like you just see things differently. It feels different as well, like on the field. And even when I missed a few games, sitting up in the tactical view. So I think it's a skill. And I think when people embrace it is like a superpower if you can relay that information to other players on the team, if you can go on the field and execute it.
Yeah, some players definitely do better with it than others,
Mhm.
Some people like that opportunity to watch the game for a little bit, see where the holes are, see where they can go, affect the game when they get in there. Also not having the full responsibility and the pressure of like, oh, I've got to go 90, like this is going to hurt. They're like, oh, I can just do 20 minutes, just give everything I have. At that point, kind of nothing to lose, right? You're either going on there to either hold a game or trying to win a game. And the answer's there for you. Whereas when you start the game, you kind of have to lay your land, impact it, set a tone, recognize which shape they're coming out and where the holes are. And you have to all do that all on the fly, like while you're still playing. Whereas if you're on the sideline, you can kind of watch from a distance and it'd be like, okay, that's what I'm going to do when I get on. So it's different, and some people like it. Some people are like, no, man, I want to start every game. And if you don't start me, I'm pissed. Yeah.
Well, hindsight's also always 2020. I'm sure Chloe Kelly at this point today, when she's getting ready for a parade, she just lifted the Euros. She doesn't really care that she came off the bench. She was the hero, and she has been the hero for England in back-to-back Euros now as England. They did it. They did the double, and they brought it home.